I'm sorry, we're back. It wasn't as easy as we thought. So, thank you for your patience. But we're back. Oh, that looked really angry, that note I left you, didn't it? Wasn't meant to be angry, but it was in big capital letters. Okay, so as I was saying, and I can see some of you have been in and booked your tickets already. I know what you're doing. I'm really happy though. That's lovely. Super duper. So we're going to make, to go with our little purse that you may or may not decide you want to sew while you're sitting at the exhibition. You might just decide to have a little, I was going to say pig out, that's rude. A little bit of eloquent sufficiency with your high tea and take it home to do. I mean, you wouldn't want to get, I suppose, you wouldn't want to get rum, raisin, cranberry, fudge smears on your linen. I get that. A little bit of icing sugar, a little bit of jam, a little bit of coconut. But then again, we do it at the Creative Escapes all the time, don't we? So I don't think it's a problem. All right, I've got my pattern out here, as I was saying, for this little studio basket. So it's a really lovely little simple pattern, and it's a really versatile one. So once you've got the hang of how it all goes together, then you can certainly go forward and make them in any size that you want to, and in different fabrics. You might want to piece your fabrics together first, but as I was saying, I've actually got a piece of Melba fussy cut here to use. As we head towards the farewell party for Melba, there's a couple of little home truths that those of you that have worked with Melba will know, but maybe you don't know, is that when we did this design, I was not aware that you would get, thanks Nancy, morning Glennis, you would not get a symmetrical shape, and I need to keep this in mind as we move forward as well to do new patterns late next year, where I'm going to actually take the Melba layout or the basis, the framework of this designs, and do a UK range. So that's 12 that way, but it's only 11 3/4 inch the other way, and that's because of the way the weft and the weave go together. So now all along with any patterns that we've done with a fussy cut Melba, in this pattern we have actually said you just gotta give it a press and it will go out to the 12, but I'm not worrying about that this morning. So what we need to do first is actually cut some darts into your rubber foam batting. So this is not in your pattern but in your kit, because it just doesn't fit in the package. But also a lot of you have got little bits and pieces of leftover Palin, bag batting and everything at home that you can use. So this one has 3.5 inch darts, but I think we might need to do that a little bit differently with this one. This is, or the basket in the TIO is actually bigger as well. And so I want to make sure, if you can see this, but when I fold this up, I sort of want these little waratahs to be sitting up a little bit, and I'm putting the silver on the back. So at the exhibition on the tables, you'll see the silver from a distance, but as you walk up to sit down at your table, you'll see this kaleidoscope inside the basket, which I think might be really sweet. Thanks, Deb. No, you need to go back and have a look at the other one because it's got lots of stuff in it as well. Missed the first one. No, don't admit it. Just don't admit it. So if I have a look at this, let me see. I sort of want it to fold up so that I've got kind of these waratahs sitting up. So if I look at my little ruler here, I've got a 4.5 inch square Creative Grids here I'm just using. So I think we'll go up 3. We're going to do a 3 inch dart. So that's going to fold the sides up 3 inches. So I'm going to put the 3 inch line there and the 3 inch line there. It's got 3 and 3. And I'm just going to draw that on there. Now that's a little wonky because I will admit I have grabbed this off the Happy Wall, and because my 4.5 is inside in my studio. So if you know the line, if you get one, it's got a little bit of Sharpie pen on the outer packaging, you'll know it was me. That there. There we are. So now we're going to cut these out. So what this does, it means that there'll be batting in the other sections, but not in the corners. And these are the pieces, or these sections, that will be a dart, and they will fold up to give the basket its 3D shape. This is, I'm the first to admit, a really, I'm going to say, old traditional pattern. It's been around for a long time, and we just decided to come through and give it a new lease of life. And Emma and I first did this. We're going back, folks. We're going way back to Dutch Cottage, and we did them with the Dutch Cottage collection because it had a tile print that we could use. We used a few of the pieces actually to make them up, and we might do it again. So it was part of my Culture Club pattern collection, and now we're moving on and doing cultural influence. It might get a little bit of a revamp as well for that, because I'm doing Dutch again early next year, so I might be able to use it for that. And thank you very much for your very kind comments about Yomu. It was lovely, because it's been so long in the making to come, so I'm really wrapped. Now do you know how hard it is to straighten a scarf when you look at my little screen over here where I can see what you're looking at, and I load up the next screen that you're going to see? It's in reverse. I can't. It's very hard. Pauline asked me about my scarf just before, when we were in part 1, and I wanted to wear this today because, well, one, to disguise the fact I'm in my work clothes. I've got my work pants on, and beautiful dirt stains. And it's quite ironic that after we talk about the Melba exhibition this morning, Rob and I are heading down the front gate to plant some lovely natives at the entrance to our place. So it's looking lovely for our other big event this year on the 30th of November, our Patchwork and Produce Day. So that's quite ironic that we're doing that. But Pauline, this one I made, just quickly, when we took the boys to a Club Med. We went to a Club Med. Where was the Club Med? Cheriton Beach. Wherever. Malaysia, thank you. I believe I didn't know that. Couldn't remember it. And I was banned from sewing while I was there. I was a bit burnt out. And I was banned. And then when we got in the bus to go from the airport to the resort, the people from the resort were handing out flyers of activities that would be on during our stay. And one was, there was a boutique artist in residence. And so that went straight out the window. I spent every day with this lovely guy for about an hour and a half in the morning with a coffee, doing boutique painting. And I had to prove to him that I could draw, and I showed him my fabrics before he would let me do my own thing and not do the classic turtle palm tree stuff that he had there for everyone to do. And so this scarf also, this was the first time that I drew a more stylized waratah, and this was 2 years before Melba. So this was kind of, I know it doesn't look like it to you, but it was sort of taking it from a really complicated botanical design, which the waratahs on Under the Australian Sun is, and starting to break it down to a more simplistic pattern. And then we moved on from there into Waratah Welcome, which I'll have at the exhibition, which was a stylized waratah that we did for Quilter's Companion. That was kind of testing the water. And then we went to the fabric. And the other reason now that I love this scarf, it kind of covers both colorways, because I've got apricot rusty reds in here and then some lilac-y pinks. So that's why I've got it on this morning, and to disguise the thermal underneath and the jumper. All right, there you go. Pauline, you'll regret asking that question now, I know, but that's what it's all about. What we're going to do now is actually iron this onto our main fabric here. I think it is better ironed onto the inside one, because Am I right? I'm pretty sure I'm right. No. Don't make your toast. Done all of that. Yes. Layer the inside tray right side up with pin ties outside tray. Oh, okay. Okay, so we are going to iron this onto here. So the instructions actually say don't iron, but it's for non-adhesive batting. But because, you know, most of the time you'll be using a scrap if you're buying a TIO to make one, so we're just going to give this a quick iron over here. Actually, it's the mugs that have got the stylized Waratah on them, and I have ordered some teal ones for the exhibition so that we've got some Melba teal coloured ones there as well. They didn't have the teal for the last 6 months, but rumour has it they do now. Okay, so we've got that ironed. So the whole idea is that you layer it all up. Now, what you also need to do is put in your ties. And these need to be pinned. I'm literally reading the instructions because I'm a bit frazzled after our part 2 session. And layer the inside of the tray, and the outside of the tray right side down. Got it. Okay, so we want our ties to be just in here, not up on the batting piece. So we cut away 3, so I'm going to come in at 2 3/4. Now, in the kit and in the instructions when you grab your TIO, it will show you, it will tell you and show you how to make up the strips that are in the TIO into little fabric ties. And I'm hoping you will forgive me. I need to make 12 baskets, which are 48 ties. I don't mind making this many. I'm not making 48, okay? So I've got silver braid that I'm going to use instead. So this is going to come in 2 3/4. So I need to pin that there. Flick, good morning. Felicity Bonner is here from Tasmania, and you are going to love what Flick is sending over for the exhibition. Oh, I don't know where I'm going to put it yet, Flick. I'm just going to work out how to do it so that it is on absolute full display. I think we hung it from the ceiling at the warehouse. I don't know. I will make sure it happens in the best possible way. But anyway, what I'm getting from Flick needs a ladder.
That's good to know.
Do you remember what it is, Rob? No, don't say it. Don't spoil it.
No, but it's nice to know I need to take a ladder.
Yeah, you will need a ladder. So these are all coming in 2 3/4 because we want them to sit on this soft bit, not on the bit with the foam batting. All right. So put this one in. And I think I've put it on. I have mentioned it in the note and everything about exhibiting, but I don't need big quilts, really. It's not necessary. I've got big quilts coming. If you've got one, of course I want it, but if you've got a pin cushion, if you have a glasses case, if you have a little something that you've made up with all your leftover bits of Melba, that's in a way even more special. So anything like that. If you've got a chatelaine that you've made with all the different bits, if you have a mat for your sewing machine, a sewing machine cover, curtain tie backs, anything, then we would love to have it there. And it just makes it all sort of more of a little journey of discovery when you come to an exhibition. It would be really lovely. Okay, I'm just going to gather all these into the middle so that we don't sew them into the seams. Layer the inside tray right side up, pin tight, outside tray right side down, and batting piece. So it said to put the batting piece on the other side, but because I've stuck mine down, on that one it's okay. So this piece, you can see it's not quite square because I've matched it to the fussy cut Melba. So this is going over the top, and this is our precious metals. Like that. And then we're going to pin again. So I need to pin corners. We can look at using wonder clips actually for where the batting is. That's probably going to be a smarter idea. So we'll do that. And if you do decide that you would like to book the deluxe, please you don't need to bring a sewing kit or anything, because as I mentioned, there'll be a needle in your kit and your threads in there, and in these little baskets on the table I'm going to have little pairs of scissors for you. So there's nothing else you need. They will already be backed with weft, so they'll be stabilized. You won't need a hoop. So I just want you to have an absolutely lovely, relaxing experience when you come. And Melba's not an out there in your face collection, so I'm hoping that with everything laid out in the room, probably in many cases in its 2 different colorways, that it will be just a nice space for us to sit and enjoy. And of course we've got our next creative escape in just over 4 weeks. It's probably 5 weeks yesterday. And so we'll be, I'll be there and we'll be talking and everything, but my little brain might be just thinking about that high tea as well at the same time. Right, we're nearly there.
Guidelines are now live as a download as well.
Okay, great.
So they can do it directly from the link.
Which I said before. Yes, or from that. So it's all in there now. Great. So now you've got 3 places that you can pick up to get your exhibition forms. It's in the free download section on the website, and then there's also links that will take you to it in the exhibition guidelines section, and also where you're booking your tickets. Okay. All right, so that's all together like that. I haven't seen you for about 2 minutes. I'll put it back on. Oh, Catherine Dust. No, it doesn't all have to be Melba, so I've put that in the guidelines. It needs to predominantly feature Melba. Okay, so it needs to go, oh yeah, there's the Melba. So what would be an example? If I had a big scrappy quilt came in and it only had 2 little blocks or 2 little bits of applique with Melba in it, that would be probably no, because it needs to predominantly have Melba in there so it looks like it's a Melba quilt. So a scrappy quilt that's got a big Melba border around the outside and maybe some bits of it in the middle, that's fine, but it needs to show that it's got a Melba theme to it, if that makes sense. And if you are wondering if what you've got is suitable or not, just send me a photo. Just send it to info@chandlerscottage.com, or if you're in a quilter's life, you can pop it through in an email to me through there, and I will have a look at it for you, and I'll just let you know straight up. And the other thing, Kath, that I put in there too, not really like a disclaimer, but I do hope to get 1 or 2 maybe different colorways of Lady Grey or some of the quilts we've always had, but I won't be taking 2 quilts the same. So it'll be at the discretion or first in best dressed or whatever for one of the classic ones. Now I do want them in because mine aren't here. They're in Spain with Maria, who still has Melba over there. So I really do hope we get some of the original classic Melba quilts and then some new ones as well, which will be really nice. And I've got Sue's, is it Mrs. Billings or whatever it is? I've got some classics here from Sue Cadell. My mate Deb's whipping up a couple of biggies. So yes, it should be fun. And I'm doing one too, but mine's not super big. But I am looking forward to mine. Good morning, Andrea. So you saw your message. what was that? Was it Instagram or something? And I did comment. I did. Anyway, it'll all be fun. It's been so long since we had an exhibition. 2019. It's a long time. It's a long time when we used to do at least one a year. All right, we're going to the machine. And I've got my, wow, that's a bit up close and personal, isn't it? What is going on here? Let's just back that up just a little bit. There you go. I've got my walking foot on, and we're going to whiz right round the outside of this. But remember, we need to leave a little spot to turn it through. So, and I have to decide where to turn it through. I think we might, thinking about it, I think probably one of these thinner sections on the corners that doesn't have the batting in it is going to be the best. So let's just go here. I really don't think we need standard stitch length. So there are a few little, there's not a lot under, oh lordy lord, hang on a minute, un momento. I might have cut myself a bit short on my, look at that. Uh-oh, I didn't pin properly. Come on, we've got to go back. Look at that. We've gone off grid, literally. Let's just take those out. I know what's going to happen. You're going to sit down at the table and go, is this the one that she, I'm going to say it, did what you do to turkeys? Did she stuff it? Oh, live on Facebook, is this the one? Not funny. Now, if you, speaking of Facebook and the show, listen, for those of you that can't make it to the show, you know, those lame excuses like being overseas or interstate or something like that, I will do live feeds from the hall for you, and I will literally set a reminder in my phone before each day or after each day is finished to take you through some of the exhibition pieces. That will happen. I know it's not the same as being there, but I will do my best to show you many of the exhibition pieces that are there. Let's try that again. My Carlton Gardens. Yippee, Jill! That's fantastic. Very happy to hear that. How exciting. So there's the Carlton Gardens coming. Yay. I wasn't going to tell you, but I will. I have a quilt. Now, a lot of you who have been here have seen it. It's hanging near the front door over my Q20. And it was made, well, I remember sewing it at my mate Jennifer's, and Stephen was in the porter cot, so that's how long ago it was. And I did it with Kona Bay fabrics, and I have had a hankering to make it with the Melba fan fabric, because that's the one that we still have stock of in some of the colours. And the reason that we do is it was planned a long way ahead. We didn't think it would be so long, but a long way ahead, with a bright red, as you know, and the black and the cream and the periwinkle, and they were produced not for Melba, because they don't go with, well, the periwinkle and the bright red don't go with Melba. They were produced to go with Yomu. And of course, everything just went wrong with COVID and everything. So I do have stock of those. So I'm planning on using some of them to make this wall hanging again. And it will make it predominantly Melba because it's got all of the fan. It'll have 3 different coloured fans in it. But then there was an epiphany the other day because I realised if I talk too much, I'm going to forget to leave an opening, aren't I? I need to be careful. That Yomu, those new ombre fabrics of mine that we talked about last week, one of them will go, or 2 of them, the red one and the green one, will go with those Melba fans. So I may actually incorporate Yomu and Melba into the one quilt. So I will get pre-sampling ahead of time, and I'm going to have to squirrel a little bit of a way because Jason gets his for launch in America at Houston, and then I'll get mine for here. So that would be like a farewell Melba, hello Yomu, which would be a bit of a giggle. That gap I've got down here is not big enough. I'm going to have to leave like that much gap to turn it through. So I'm going to stop where this peg is, I think. It needs to be a bit bigger. How are we doing? We're about there. We might stop about here. Okay. Then we'll leave a nice big gap. I don't want to leave a gap over a corner, of course, so we'll pop that down there. We'll see how we go. Don't you love it when Leesa tries stuff? When I try stuff live on Facebook? What a giggle. Alright, so last bit around here, we've got this opening here. And if your machine will cope with just going over 2 layers of fabric with your walking foot on, with no batting, then I would strongly recommend a walking foot. If you are a wide needle feed dog differential feed person, or you've got your if you've got, sorry, what am I trying to say? If you've got your built-in support for your foot so that you pull through against 3 feed dogs, then please use that. But I would go walking foot. There we go. Right, so we'll head back over and have a look at this now, so you can see on the back here that we're going to have the batting, and when we turn it through we'll have the silver on the other side. But I do just want to clip these corners. Dual feed is absolutely fantastic to use. Those of you that have got it, I know, have it on 24/7, but sometimes I'm just not in an experimental mood like when I'm live on Facebook, so the walking foot was the best go. Now let's go over here and we can turn it all through. I think it's going to be a personal preference on whether, if you're using adhesive batting, whether you use it on the outside bit or the inside bit. But also, as I turn this through, I can still change my mind. If I wanted to put the Melba on the outside, I could, but I don't, because I know what colour the tablecloths are. So the silver has to be on the outside. It's a lot of work. It's like a wedding. It's just like planning a wedding. Had to choose the serviettes, plan the menu. I've booked the photographer. Cameron's coming. I've booked the photographer. What else? Menu. The guest list. Well, I've opened up the guest list to you this morning, and we will have the guest list at the door. Music. No DJ, but the music's being planned. And of course, the venue. All right, across to the ironing board. So I'm sure you can appreciate it needs a little bit of love. Oh, I lost one of my tags, didn't I? Because I've put the opening, never mind. And I hadn't tacked on that little braid there. I've lost my little bits. That's all right, we'll fix that in a tick. So we'll give this an iron out to the corner. And if you do need to head off now, I totally understand. But yes, heads up, I will be back Wednesday night. And I've had a lot of people email me about doing the traveller bag on Facebook on demo, and so that's going to happen as well. Now I actually have one to do that has, it's Melba, but there's no Melba fabric in it, in the traveller. So I'll leave you with that little mystery, and I will be with you on that one as well this week, and I'll show you what I mean. It's Melba, but it's not Melba fabric. There we go. So if you sort of get what's happening, so now you can see that this is going to fold up, and so you can do them any way you like. And if you wanted to do one that was quite tall with a small base, you could. You've just got to change the size of your darts. I'm going to have to fiddle with this because I boo-booed. Well, I didn't boo-boo, but I didn't think about that cord going in. So if this takes too long to fiddle with, I won't bore you with the details. I can come back to it. There we go. Now I'm not sure in a past life if Emma and I decided that we should top stitch all 4 edges. Okay, so this bit that I have missed putting in, I can just come in and sit that there like that. Then all will be forgiven. Okay, there we go. Now it says to top stitch around all edges. You know when you've got a tidy tool container and it's to keep all your tools tidy, but then you keep throwing everything in to the point you can't find anything anymore? I was going to, I think it's time for a clean out, girls. I really do. That's the straight stitch, and I've got my open one on. That's even what I was looking for to check. I need to top stitch around this edge, and I want to do it with my walking foot because we've got this thickness in there. So make sure you've got your wide, if you've got dual feed, have your normal foot on so we can move that needle across, because I'm thinking we're going to have to sit the foot quite a way in off the edge and move the needle all the way across to the right so that it will cope with going through the batting and then having no batting kind of scenario. So we'll just go and check that. Okie dokie. So I want to start, well, I do actually probably want to start where I've put this back in over here. So I'm going to put my my foot down, and on the bananas there's actually a little mark on the foot that tells you where the 1/4 inch distance is, which is so handy when you, I'm sure other machines do too, but it's just so super handy when you're sewing binding on. So I'm going to do that, but then I'm going to move my needle right across so that it's going to come down about a 1/16 probably. Might be a bit generous on that, 1/8 to a 1/16 in from the edge. And I'm going to run over where I've put this tag back in, take the pin out. Okay. Now because we lost a bit of time this morning, which I'm really sorry about. It just happens sometimes. It's why we do have two options. We have NBN and we have Starlink, so if there's a problem with one, we can do that and we can switch. I also wanted to talk to you about using cork, because we launched those beautiful new corks last week, and you'll see those under farewell. They're under our search word for today, and so I might save that if that's okay with you, and we'll do that during the week. But to go with the cork, I'll show you in a minute. I've popped the teal and pink under the Australian Sun floral on special for you. And I'm getting a bit, I'm not nervous, but I'm getting a little bit funny about under the Australian Sun, because you know next year we're going to say goodbye to Under the Australian Sun. And we still have good stock now, but we are planning on launching the pink colourway, the pink and teal, in the States at Houston as well, which means it could disappear overnight. So I just thought I'd prop it up. We don't know that's going to happen yet, but I've popped it up with a bit of a special on it, so that if you had planned to use it in the next 12 months, please plan soon, just in case we do pull that off. It's all waiting on the big fat orange cheesel in America to make up his mind about tariffs. See, I can't go to America now I've said that. You'll find it on my social media account. Alright. And by now, I'm hoping you can see that you can make one of these easily yourself. I mean, I love our little TIO kits. I know a lot of people get a lot of fun out of collecting them now as we do them. Someone said the other day, Leesa, I've got one more to collect. When are you doing more? Soon, I suppose. But they're a little thing to collect, because then you get to collect techniques as well. Alright, so let's have a look. So now we've got all our ties in, and that's all done. And then when we go back to our instructions, it says mark 3-inch line from the edge. 3-inch line from the edge. We went 3, so it was 3.5. No, we went to 3. So 2.5 in from the edge with this one. Oh, look at that. That's exactly what it is. Can you see what I'm talking about here? If I sit that there, that's on 10. And we now come in 2.5, and it sits right on the edge of our foam. So we were 2 3/4. We've taken in a 1/4-inch seam here, and so now we've got a 2.5-inch gap. Rightio. So we need a Frixion pen. We all know my reputation with these. And we're going to draw a line right through. See, they never work for me. Oh, there we go. Is that working? Yeah, just. Look, honestly, it's because I don't use them enough out here. They dry up. There's one line. And we do the same over here. So what is this doing? We're putting in, I'll give up. We're putting in, for want of a better word, they're scoring lines, and we're going to sew through them. And then what that does is it just helps the fabric fold nicely when we pull our ties up together. Now go do this one. There we are. And again, we just need to be really careful. I'll just hold this for you. We need to be really careful that we don't get our ties caught up again when we sew. You can see here we've got lines across here, and then when they're sewn it's going to fold up nicely like that, in whichever direction we want to go really. Let's just give it another little press. head over. Is that true, Catherine? What a tip. That is tip of the day. Keep your Frixium pens upside down. So all the blood rushes to their head, huh? Alright, so last little step with the sewing machine. Oh, look what I've done. I've actually left my needle in that position. What a giggle. That's alright, as long as my needle is on the line, it's okay. And then I'll put it back in the centre for the next one. So for all you pink fans out there, Rob and I this morning are planting pink down the driveway. We've got pink grevilleas, pink kangaroo paw, pink erica, and then a hedge of red pink grevilleas for the other side. So we'll all have a little bit of a pink theme at certain times of the year, and at other times then other things will flower and give us different colours. And of course, just to add a little bit of Europe to the look at the moment, we've got daffodils just about to start their display down there that we planted last year. So the daffodils were really about Ringin Road, because a lot of the properties on Ringin Road have daffodils on their nature strips and at their houses, which look really, really pretty when you're driving up during late August, spring. So we had to contribute to that. But it might be the perfect day for a little bit of a burn off as well of all the leaves that have fallen from the trees on the road into the water trenches on the edge of the road. So I think it's just a perfect day to do some planting, rug up, have a little fire, burn some leaves, and then come into the warm this afternoon to do some sewing. Okay, this is the last one. So I've got all 12 squares cut and all 12 squares of the silver cut, and I've got the batting pieces cut. So I'll be able to have a little bit of a production line now to do the others. Okay. Just move this over. Anyway, I hope you've got a lovely day planned, even if it's inside sewing. It was very, very cold yesterday and very windy, so it was definitely an inside day of work for me, but it's gorgeous out there at the moment, so we're going to make the most of it, and then I'll be back in this afternoon. Press that over that way, press this side. Okay, so now we can come back and, oh, I've still got some threads to cut off on the back, I'm sorry. We need to get these off. I'll just take off quickly what needs to come off to do these ties. And you can all scrutinize them while you have morning tea or afternoon tea or middle of the day high tea. I just love these when you fill them with hot scones or biscuits to take to a friend's place. I think they make a fantastic present. I've just had a very naughty thought. Oh, yeah. There are 12. What is there? 9 Mon symbols. On the new. Do you want them going out or do you want them going in? You can go either way. I'll go in. I'll go out, I think, like this. We could do 9. different ones from one panel of Yomu. Uh-oh. There we go. That's one. That's a thread. So, if you have any questions at all about the exhibition, as I said, you can always email me. That would be great, and I'll get back to you later today or tomorrow, whenever you email me during the week. And as I said, if you're in A Quilter's Life, you can also get to me through there. There we have it. So I need to audition a little knot on the end of these braids just to see. Yeah, that'll be fine. And I might leave them quite long so that it looks quite pretty on the table. But there you go, there's our basket already. So for me, that's 1 down and 11 to go, almost. But yeah, it's got a nice big dark, so you'll see that as you walk towards the tables, and then when you sit down, you'll see that. And they'll have little pairs of scissors in them, and maybe a couple of other little bits and pieces. I'll have a revisit of what I think you might need to start stitching, but I think it's just going to be a pair of scissors, and you can pop your thread scraps in here as well while you're there if you're sewing. I don't think these are going to need knots. I think that's going to be fine. So there you go. All right, so have some fun. As I said, we haven't got this one left, but we do have the lovely Australis one in this colorway, and I've popped it up on Spesh with our under the Australian Sunflowering Gum, because I think that's probably the best coordinate to put it with. But see what you've got in the stash and see what you might like to use with it. There's one other thing I was going to mention as well, and I didn't bring it onto the stand, but we had missed one of the I Dream in Colour fabrics. So I have popped it under the word farewell today, and it's the beautiful border print in the purple colourway. So that's there as well if you decided to grab some of those. The border stripe that goes with it now is up as well. All right, thank you. What a morning. 2 shows instead of 1. But we got the first basket made, and thank you very much for staying with me through that palaver. Did I miss anything else? I don't think I did. Question, if I make up the quilt under BJ's later. Oh, of course, Jill, you just pop the information through with your exhibition form, and I am more than happy to pop up information about BJ quilters for you. That's not a problem at all. All right, so, oh, Melissa says tickets bought. Oh, you're funny. You're so funny. Right. Oh, Catherine, that's a shame. It's fine, mate. Just make up something little to put in. I want you to exhibit. Please do. Please do. So there's something in there with your name on it. Okay, everybody, thank you again. And I'll see you on Wednesday night. We're going to start talking Travellers, and we're going to come back and talk about using cork. We're going to do another TIO. I've got lots and lots to do this week. In the meantime, I need to cut the lining pieces for these, and I will be dropping these off for pre-printing tomorrow at the printers, okay? Thank you very much. Have a great week, won't you? Bye.